Hi, my name is Ash Keller and welcome to my personal project video where I make this skateboard. Doing the first step of my skateboard, it is the grip tape. It was a little bit difficult for me to do because the towel I put under it was getting stuck to the board, but overall I think I did a good job. There were some air bubbles, but I pushed them out when I was done. This part was actually kind of fun because I got to smooth it all out and stuff, and it was really satisfying. In this clip, I took some scissors and cut into the grip tape because when I first tried to make an outline of my board, I found it was hard to run my screwdriver over the edges. This made it a lot more flexible and easy to do. Now I'm using the flat part of my screwdriver to make an outline of the board so I know where to cut off my excess grip tape. After that, I took a blade from an X-Acto knife and safely cut the excess off by poking the blade through the bottom of the grip tape and running it along the edge of my board. This was a little difficult due to the flaps that I made with the scissors earlier. They kept getting in the way and I felt like I kept messing up, so I kept trying to do different things and it ended up just making the edges kind of unclean. Luckily, that was easily fixed with a separate piece of grip tape that I used to sand all around the edges. Here's the grip tape all complete. It was mostly a smooth process other than the blade getting in between a layer of grip tape and leaving this part looking a little bit messed up. On to me making the design for my deck. When making my stencil, I had these 3 designs of a Black Widow and web in my mind. My design included elements from all my references and I was very happy with the final sketch. I cut out the middle pieces of my web and labeled them so I knew where to put them on my board. I also cut out the actual web and spider of the original paper. I then put wall putty on the back of my paper so it would stick easy and come off easy when the spray paint was dry. Then I put wall putty on the pieces that were numbered and I put it all on my board along with some paper to secure it while I was spray painting. First practiced on some cardboard because I was scared to put it on my deck. Then I put my spray paint on the deck and stencil. Made sure all the paint was level and no spots were missed. This is what my board looks like after the spray paint. I left it here for about an hour to dry. Now I'm taking off the paper and the stencil. It actually left the wall putty behind, so I had to take it off with my fingernails and tweezers. The stencil actually took me a really long time to make as it was free-handed and it was really hard to take all the little pieces out and put them back on perfectly onto my board, but it was totally worth it because I was very happy with this end design. I love the little mist that the spray paint left behind. I thought it was so cool. Now we continue on to all the parts of my skateboard. These are my 139mm independent trucks. They were $45 on Amazon. These are the pieces of my hardware. There's 8 nuts and 8 screws. These are my Bones Reds bearings. They were $18 on Amazon. These are my Spitfire 52mm wheels. They were $36 on Amazon. And lastly, here's the other piece of my hardware set is the skate tool. Altogether, the set was $7. Here I'm using 2 little tools to poke holes into my board where the hardware is going to go. Made sure that the holes were poked through all the way and there was no grip tape in them so that the screws would fit through smoothly. I put my first set of trucks on and lightly screwed the nuts onto the screws to hold it in place. Then I did that exact same process on the other side of the board. Now I had to secure the trucks. On this side I was holding the hardware and on this side I was twisting it. In this clip, I was tightening my trucks to make sure that when I was riding my board, it would turn easy. When When my dad came to check on my progress, he noticed something was off. One of the nuts had been destroying every single one of the screws that we tried to put in, and we ended up having to get a new nut and a new screw. One of the screws looks different now, but that's okay. Now it came time to put the bearings in my wheels. I was trying to put it on by using my truck to push it in, but it wasn't working because my wheels were so hard. I ended up having to use a hammer to push all the bearings in. I don't know why this was so difficult. Maybe it was because I wasn't strong enough to push them in, or maybe it's because the wheels were too hard. Finally, it was my last step. All I needed to do was put my wheels on. I started by putting a speed ring onto my truck, then my wheel, then another speed ring, then the nut, and then I used my hardware tool to screw it on. I was honestly amazed when I realized that this was a whole skateboard and it wasn't just a bunch of pieces anymore. Here's me showing off my board. I was so happy with how it turned out and I love the design. Here's me riding my skateboard for the first time. It was honestly kind of emotional because I had actually built an entire product by myself. And now for my second part of my video, where I attempt tricks. These first couple of clips are actually recorded before I built my skateboard. I was using my dad's old skateboard. I couldn't wait to get my own skateboard, so in the meantime, I was using my dad's skateboard to go up little curbs and stairs. I didn't get it perfect my first try going off these two stairs back to back. But eventually I landed and I felt so cool. Continuing me trying to go off curbs and ramps, I made this little ramp in my front yard and I kept trying to go off it. My dad kept telling me that I needed more speed, and after I actually listened to him, I got it pretty good. Now it is time for me to do a real trick. I chose the ollie. I was also using my dad's board in these clips. I was practicing this so much, it took such a long time for me to even get off the ground, but this is my first time and I was very proud. When I finally built my board, I was very excited to start trying to do an ollie on it. In all the following clips, you will see my progress, how I go from barely getting off the ground to getting off the ground a little bit more. You can also see my confidence grow. I went through the motions a lot in my head and I didn't really slide my foot, which I think is my biggest problem. Here's me falling on camera. It's a little bit embarrassing, but it's what I have to do to get better. This is my progression after 11 days. So after riding those wheels for a couple weeks, I noticed that they were really hard to ride on the road and stuff, and we realized that they were meant for skate parks. And since I don't really go to the skate park that much, we ordered new wheels that were gonna work better on the road. My dad also found these old Swiss bearings that he had had for years and he let me use them. They actually turned out really great. Also a new addition to my board was spacers. And here's me trying an ollie with my new wheels. My biggest problem is still me sliding my foot. I struggle with it a lot. There's actually a lot that goes into doing an ollie. You have to have your foot position right, and all at the same time you have to pop your board, jump, and slide your foot. It's easier to use a sidewalk crack when you're first trying to learn how to do an ollie, and it takes a lot of courage to actually start doing it without the sidewalk crack. I somehow found the confidence to do it while moving. This was actually really scary, but I feel like I did alright. So I didn't jump. Hello. This is the reflection part of my video. Before this project, I had no experience building a skateboard, nor did I have experience actually doing a trick on a skateboard. Now I feel like I have learned so much more about skateboards in general and how to do skateboarding tricks. I learned that I was a fast learner during this project and that I adapt well to challenges. I was a fast learner because my dad was actually telling me most of the things that I needed to do, and I was picking up on what he was saying, and I was actually doing it myself. And I adapted to challenges when I was doing my trick. The trick was very difficult to do, but I kept on trying. Even though I didn't get it perfect, I'm still going to keep trying off camera and when the project is over. The skills I have acquired during this personal project are basic knowledge about skateboarding, like which parts of my skateboard are which. I also acquired skills with my filming and editing my video, and I acquired skills when I was starting to do my ollie. I improved on my critical thinking skills and my creativity. My point of view has changed a lot. I have more respect for the skating community now, and now skating is a part of my life. The personal project has prepared me to work creatively on new things. It has also taught me how to adapt very well. I'm mostly proud of the board itself. Not only does it look good, it also rides really good.